So I got asked to upgrade some lighting in a garage. And I thought, okay, these are different lights. They're going to be LED lights. There were 6-foot like fluorescent battens that we're upgrading. So I wanted to confirm that the lights I put up, although they are 10 times better and the lux is 10 times better, they're going to be happy with. Because as we all know, fluorescent lights, yeah, they were fantastic back in the day and everyone had them. But when you change into LED, it's a different light. You get cool white, you get warm white, you get daylight, you get so many different colour lights. So I wanted to go up there and change them. So I put one up. Bought one from the wholesalers and put it up. And they confirmed a few weeks later and said, yes, Ben, we want them all just like that. That's fantastic. So that's what I did. I planned, I got a tower in there, did all the lights, changed them. And they said, yeah, we don't like them. Flipping nightmare. You confirmed already. And this is what this podcast is all about. Nightmare customers, and things happen. And that's one of them moments where you think, oh, why do we even bother? You do everything to try and make sure that the customer's happy, and nothing can make them happy. And when you get some of them customers, yeah, this podcast might help on how to deal with them. Because have you ever had a job where everything seems to just go wrong? And you think, look, I'm going to cut my losses and just walk off and not answer my phone. To be honest with you, there has been a few jobs like that in my lifetime. So there are some warning signs that customer's going to be a nightmare from the beginning when you go around to look at the job, when you go around to check the job. You're checking it out and they're a bit indecisive and they start saying all the time, what do you think? What do you think? I said, right, I want spotlights in the kitchen. Right, do you know how many you want? No, what do you think? Sometimes you need to know how much you want, what sort of light, because everybody's different. I have been to people's houses, mostly Indians people's houses, where they've got like a stupid amount of spotlights in that ceiling. I don't know why they like it nice and bright, because more likely they're cooking in there all the time. But they had about 20 spotlights in this small little kitchen, when it could have got away with having 6, really. And when you go around to check the job as well, have a little look. Check out what that job's going to be like. If it's a messier environment where you think, I've got to move everything here to get the job done, or the kitchen sides have just got full of stuff, full of food, full of washing, and you can tell that these customers don't clear up, put that in your quote, that kitchen is needed to be empty for you to drill your downlights. Because unless you've got a dade where you can catch all the dust and stuff like that, which you don't ever catch 100% of the dust, you're going to get a little bit messy. And if that customer's a nightmare, they might turn around and go, we have to get our kitchen cleaned. Yes, you know in the back of your mind that, yes, no doubt, you need to get your kitchen cleaned 6 years ago, mate, because that dirt looks like it's been there forever. You can't sort of say that. So you've got to cover yourself to say, look, I did ask for it to be empty. And the whole reason to go around somebody's house to give them a quote is to let them know how much things are going to cost. I've been there before and I hate it when people ask, but they say off the top of your head, how much it's going to be. I always pick out a number and double it. If it's going to be £500, I say around £1,000. Oh, that's expensive. So I always say to them, look, let's get it on a bit of paper so you know how much it's going to cost. You can either go ahead with it or not go ahead with it. Because on that bit of paper as well, you're going to need to sign it. You're going to need to sign that you're happy for me to carry out this work and you're happy to pay me what's on this bit of paper, what we've just agreed to. Because on that quote as well is basically the itinerary of what you're going to do in that house. If they want 6 spotlights, it's going to say, I'm going to supply and fit 6 downlights, brushed chrome or white or, I don't know, chrome, whatever you're going to put up. That's what you're going to fit. Detail it down if they're going to be LED integrated, or someone might specify they want GU10 lamps. Specify that they're GU10 lamps. The GU10 lamps are going to be cool white, warm white. Specify every little detail, then they can't moan about it. So when it says 4 spotlights, it's going to cost £500. So when you're there and they come along, and it happens all the time, a customer might say, why's your ear, mate? I need to put a plug on my bleeding lawnmower. Why's your ear, mate? I want an outside socket. Can you do it whilst you're here? Yes, I can do anything. If you've got time, obviously, you can do it whilst you're there. But there's an extra cost. Make sure that is your famous last words. Yes, but that's extra. You want me to do extras? Yes, no worries, I can do extras, but with extras become extra costs. I know it's sort of obvious to everybody else, but you wouldn't believe how many customers expect the extras. Oh, I thought you might include that. I don't include it. I do this for a living, mate. What's the point? Do you want to come around my house and wash my car and say, all right, mate, I've got 5 more cars there. Do you want to wash them? I thought that was included. No, one job is one job. This is why you give them a quote and you let them know how much it's going to cost. But a tip to all tradesmen is keep your cool and stay professional. The last thing you want, sometimes I think customers want you to kick off and get angry and them to kick you out the house. I've been on a job once before where I've been there all day, wired this beautiful kitchen wall where the ovens are going, the microwave's going, all the sockets are going, the undercupboard lights, wired it perfect, ready to be plastered, dot and dab the next day, only for the customer to get back at 5 o'clock and go, oh, we're going to move it to that wall. I explained, I said, yep, fine, but it's the builder paying me. So let's bring the builder up to make sure that he's all right if I come back tomorrow and move it all. Well, the builder come round and he kicked off. He kicked off with a customer. He was probably annoyed. I couldn't get it because he'd arranged for me to be there that day. The plasterer to come the next day to dot and dab and to get the job done. So he was on a time limit as well. But you cannot kick off with a customer. You've always got to remember in your back of your mind, that customer is the person paying you to do the job. And then once you've done the job, they're going to be the ones that are happy to recommend to all their family and friends and everyone else like that. They're going to be happy for you to take photos of the job you've done, to put in your portfolio, to put on social media. So you've got to keep that primary customer happy. To me, I have to keep the customer happy and the builder happy on that job. So I was trying to do my best, but I do not agree with shouting and hollering at the customers because I think that's a bit of a bad way of dealing with things. And when things do go wrong as well, you hold your hands up. Things happen, man. You make mistakes. I am not innocent either. I have made mistakes. I was giving the keys to someone's house and I was running some lighting above this cupboard somewhere, drilling a hole. I went straight through a central heating pipe. Nightmare. I remember as well because I had to replace his 24 pack of crisps because it all went over the crisps. But before I phoned the customer to explain, I phoned up a plumber. I got a plumber on the way to come round and sort that central heating pipe out. I remember it because it just didn't stop leaking. I thought, my God, is it a mains water pipe? And it was warm water. So in effect, I knew that it was a central heating pipe, but he had to drain the system down, fix the pipe work and redo it. It's a nightmare. But when I phoned that customer up, I said, look, I have had an accident. I've got to nip off and get you some pack of crisps because all your crisps are soaked. And I also had to explain to him that I had to get a plumber to come round. I had to get a plumber to come round to repair a pipe that I went through. Accidents happen. I've cleared your kitchen up. This is one scenario where electricians do get a mop out because it was my fault. I held my hands up. I had to pay that plumber to obviously fix the fault for a call out, but I had no other choice. That's nothing you can do. I couldn't put the cost onto the customer because it was my fault, my accident. But it leaves you in good stead. That customer used me 500-600 times more a year. Well, not 500-600, you know what I mean? But like 50-60 more times because he's had 3 houses now, what I can remember. And I've always gone around there to test before he sells and done all the work for him over the years. So I've sort of made my money back from that mistake. That's why I would always hold my hands up. There was another scenario as well where I have to fill someone's fridge up because I just left the fridge off. When I was working in their garage, I turned the fridge off. So he phoned me up when I got home. He said, Ben, did you unplug the fridge or the freezer in the garage? Yes, I did. I did when I was testing. So I said, go down Tesco's, fill your fridge up and obviously bill me. And when you're on site as well, there's always extras that come across. And the builder might say, oh yeah, didn't tell you about this, mate, but we've got Velux windows and they need power. Nice one. Well, that Velux motor needs to be here. So I need to go and get the Velux powered motor, but they're in a delay. They're not going to come for the next few days. You have to explain and be polite. Just tell everyone exactly how it is. Look, mate, you've only just sprung this on me. You forgot. I didn't add it in the quote, so it's an extra job, but it doesn't happen now. especially this day and age. You can't just go to the wholesalers and get things off the shelves too much anymore. You can get cable and clips and first fix stuff. You can get a lot of that off the shelf. But things like a Velux powered motor with a remote control and Wi-Fi links and things like that, you have to order them off the internet or the wholesalers for direct, and they don't come for 2 or 3 days. So sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. But don't kick off and go, for flip's sake, rah, I didn't know about this. Because at the end of the day, however much you kick off, the customer still wants it done. The customer could turn around and say, right, I want a spotlight in the middle of that wall. Stupid idea, but it happens. I've been in a property before when I've done all these kitchen lights. Bang on, spot on, beautiful, lovely and straight. She didn't want it straight. She wanted them staggered. What the flip? In my eyes, it looks stupid, ugly and messy. They're flipping mess with my OCD. But customer wants, customer gets. That is the person that's paying. That is the thing we've got to remember all the time. The customer pays you to be there and do it. You can recommend to say, yeah, it ain't really safe to do them wonky, but they'll know you're lying. You can do them wonky, it just looks a mess. But there are some scenarios as well where you will have to just cut your losses and walk away. I've been on a couple of jobs, caravan sites, where I've explained to them that I can't do that outside socket unless you do the board, which the supply into it is too small for the 6 caravans you got running off it, let alone the outside socket you want me to install. So it's going to cost you around 1,500 quid. Just do a socket, Ben. No, sorry, sometimes for your peace of mind, because if I feel like if I'd done that socket and then it all caught fire, because it was overloaded as it was, and I didn't want to be the person that flipping tipped it over the edge to catch fire and the whole lot went up. So sometimes you are better off walking away and trying to just explain to the customer, look, I can't do that. You won't cover me for insurance. I know. The thing is, with any customer, they'll say, just do it, Ben. We don't mind. But as soon as that goes up in flames and somebody gets hurt, say something goes pop and a little child gets hurt or the bike gets electrocuted while they're riding over the cable that's trailing across the bleeding yard, someone is going to have to be to blame. And I can guarantee you it will be the electrician that's last you worked on that installation. They'll look for someone to blame. Someone will be to blame. Someone will be needed to be sued. I never want that to be me. So I would rather walk away, not do it, and then a peace of mind. I'll be able to sleep at night. But you will get some people to turn around and say, well, you're a rubbish electrician, man. You can't do it. If you can't do that, then you must be rubbish. If you can't get hold of some lights now and do my job today, you must be a rubbish electrician. And in a way, they'll try to bully you, like builders maybe, or the contractors, or possibly the customers sometimes as well. Don't stand for it. It's not a sort of thing that I agree with, like shouting, hollering and screaming. I'm quite a big person, so I stick up for myself. But some people, I have seen customers shout and holler and scream at the tradesman because a tiler can't tile round his bloody kitchen that he's just put all his appliances in the way, and the tiler wants everything off, which I can understand as a tradesman. Yeah, you're going to make a mess with your tiles and stuff, so you need to get them nice and straight. So you want all the kettles out of the way. You want to take all the sockets off and stuff like that. But some people shout, holler and scream and make you feel this big. Well, stick it up your arse, mate. Walk away. It ain't worth it. For the 100 customers that are happy, you always get 1 or 2 that do your head in. And the thing is, there will be customers out there that will give you a bad review. They might put something on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere to say, this bloke's an idiot, he's a rogue trader. I've had it before. Someone has actually took a picture of my van, stuck it on Facebook and said, this is the electrician that rides around trying to run people over. I remember the scenario. I went on the pavement to get round a car. I didn't try and run people over because the girl was there putting something on Facebook. But it was a bit of a bad thing for someone to do. I apologised on that post that someone put on Facebook. Said, look, man, I'm sorry, but I needed to get round and I don't think I'd run you over or anybody over because you would have called the police rather than putting it on Facebook. There is some people out there that will take a picture of you because everyone's got picture phones these days if you drive on the curb. But the worst thing you want, that's just a stupid thing. What you don't want is someone to take a photo of their kitchen and go, check this guy out. Look how dangerous a job he done. That could ruin your reputation. If someone puts things all over the internet saying, Ben did this, Ben did that, you are never going to come back from that. The people are attracted to negative rather than positive. You could put 10 pictures on the internet of you done a beautiful, fantastic job of all these undercovered lights, of switched on LEDs. But if someone puts one light hanging down, that'll get all the comments. That is a thing. That'll get all the comments that one light's hanging down with a live wire. And so don't let it get to you, because yes, it does happen. But deal with it professionally. Once again, if a light comes down, then explain, look, I'm sorry, I will be round the same day, if not that evening, to fix it back up, to make sure that it's 100%. Accidents do happen. Deal with them, take it on the chin, and flipping sort it out. And with new customers as well, this is why I like to meet that customer and them to meet me, because you get an idea of what they're like. You can walk into their house and say, yeah, they look after their house. It's nice and it's a beautiful house. They're going to be proud. And then you can give them options of like, maybe this downlight's £5, this downlight's £15. I recommend the £15 one because it's a lot better. Sometimes you know what that customer might want. They don't want a Billy Bodge job done. They want a decent electrician. So that's why you're there, to give them a detailed quote in what you're going to do. But on the other end of the spectrum, social housing sort of thing, you might walk in there, a dog poo on the floor, there's a freaking 2 dogs locked in a room barking the head off you, and you've got to test that property. Excuse me, mate, what can you do with these dogs? Because I don't think I want to walk in that room. There's a couple of staffies there ready to eat somebody. Oh man, some jobs you just don't want to be there. You want to get in and out, and especially if you just go around to quote someone saying, I'm having a kitchen fitted. Your kitchen's a mess. Yeah, we're not going to take the sink out until we're ready because we still need to wash up and stuff. I like ripping it out and starting fresh. It's a lot quicker way. Doing bits and bobs here. We need to do 2 sockets here and then come back next week and do 2 sockets over there. No. I want to do it in a oneer. I'm not one of these people that like to do drips and drabs, and it is going to be a lot cheaper for the customer. So explain to the customer what you want to do, how you want to do it, how you want to work, and it'll go better, I think, because everyone knows, everyone's singing from the same sheet, and the job flows better. So that's why it's a good idea to maybe meet the customer to know what's going on. You sort of get an idea of how that customer is with you as well, and basically whether it's a good idea to get a deposit off that customer. Once you give them a quote, or if it's over sort of 500-600 quid, 20% deposit, something like that. Just take a little deposit off them just to make sure that they can give you a deposit, they've got your bank details, and they've transferred the money. Then, if anything happens, like they say, well, I didn't owe your bank details, so I couldn't transfer it. You did, because you gave me 20%. So that gets rid of that equation. So it gets rid of that problem where customers do say, I think I sent it to the wrong bank. No, you didn't, because you sent it to the right one the first time. Because a lot of people do, especially elder people, they'll just send you £1 first. Do it better than that. Send me £20 or send me 200 quid if it's £1,000 job. And then we know that you're booked in, ready to go, and you can't cancel. And you can let them know on the quote as well. For the deposit, if you cancel this job now, I don't mind a day here and there, because you might be behind with the kitchen fitters, you might be behind with the builders. But if you cancel the job and it doesn't get done, you don't get your deposit back. I need to cover my ass. This is a business. But running a business as well, especially being self-employed, you need to have a bit of a backup plan, a bit of a savings, I think, just in case you do get customers that want to say, right, I want to pay 90 days. 30 days is quite common with industrial and commercial. That is how it works. But some customers as well, they think, I'm going to pay you through my company from the domestic job that you did in my house, it'll be 30 days. No, stipulate on your invoice that it's 7 days or job paid on completion, something like that, because people will try everything to try not to pay, and when they do, it sort of winds you up. You know how this is going to go. But rather than kicking off, you might have to take them to court, you might have to wait around a little while for them to pay, might have to be a week, send them reminders, but just have a little back burner. I'd say just enough to cover your mortgages and stuff like that, and your food in your house so you don't go skin. Possibly 10 grand savings, something like that, just on the back burner in case anything happens. I say in case, it can happen quite easy, but not often. But if it doesn't happen, you can keep building that up as well. And it'll get you used to savings. Because after a little while, if you put a certain amount away, say £500 a month, put it in a savings account, that piles up. Right, I got my 10 grand now, and it goes to 11 grand. You can buy yourself a new drill. I can't be the only one that's had these crazy stories where people refuse to pay. People have wonky lights. People ask you to do a job where you wouldn't even attempt to put a bleeding lamp in, let alone a double socket or feed another caravan. So I want to hear your stories. If you're inside the group on Facebook of the Toolbox Talks for Electricians, drop one of your stories down below. And let's see what happens with other electricians around the country or even around the world. And if you can relate to a lot of this stuff that I talk about on Toolbox Talks for Electricians, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like so you can come back and listen to more stories. So until next time, I'll see you again. Toolbox Talks for Electricians, helping electricians reduce stress, gain back time, and earn more money.